Yeah, speaking of...
free mouth stuff?
Yeah, talking about Mike's wife and mouth stuff. No.
Love you, dear. Glad you don't listen to the show.
Until now.
Yeah. They're like, hey, how you doing? Listen to the show.
So speaking of listening to the show, welcome to the Average Adventuring Party podcast.
Where we listen to the show.
Yeah, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to listen to past episodes.
Yeah.
Just to catch ourselves up.
And react.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do is the AAP crew reacts to the
AAP crew.
Yeah, the Average Adventuring Party podcast.
Every series does it.
What you're saying is we need a recap episode, like we all go back in past and have Uncle Phil moments where we're reminiscing about our good old times.
The bad thing is
with Weird Swift.
I sat down at one point and was like, what would be a cool addition to the website is a timeline of both the world and the party's adventures. And I started writing it down and I was just like, nah.
This was the worst week ever that ended in a giant explosion.
Yeah. Red Dragon.
Yeah, that's the bad thing is that was just a week of you guys.
Yeah, it was.
And somehow, whenever we all reunite, we're like, hey, we managed to break the world in a week. This time, we have 2. Wink.
So what happened last time, you guys?
Suna didn't die yet. Yet.
I
said yes.
Let's fix that.
Suna died.
On her way to fix that.
Suna died a little on the inside.
I mean, yeah. Her parents are adorable.
We got a nice little domestic moment that we all enjoyed, except Suna.
Yes.
In fact, Suna hated it so much that she ran into the arms of her enemies.
Accurate.
If Suna was given the choice of spending 5 more minutes with her mother and father, or turning over herself and her weaponry to the sovereignty, we know which one she chose. Because she did, in fact, turn herself over to the sovereignty.
A noble sacrifice, thank you very much.
It was not a sacrifice. I am listening to an old friend that may or may not have given me good advice.
Isn't this also the friend who helped heal a tiefling by breaking their neck? Help.
No.
Oh, that's right. Iacus didn't say talk. He said kill.
So, yeah, that's where we're gonna pick up. Suna.
Oh, you, Suna.
Suna, for about the last 15 minutes, you were disarmed and dragged in front of an elf who is wearing a particularly what you thought was armor at first, but it turns out to be a very fancy gold robe with purple and green engravings on it. His men have called him out by the rank of mage captain. And after they, at one point, we'll say someone did literally just grab you by a leg and turn you upside down and just shake you to make sure there were no concealed weapons.
Did that work?
I mean, they found like all your little baggies of spices and stuff.
Okay.
That you secreted upon your person.
Okay.
But for the most part, your bag and staff, he just tossed into a tent, had you bound and then dragged into another tent. And
bound in what way?
They put ropes on you that have wrought iron fibers woven in.
Like around the chest and arms, like together like that, or just around the hands?
Like they have your hands tied together right in front of you, and then your arms tied to your body.
Okay.
And then you are tied to a chair.
Okay. With all the same stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
You guys have taught them that non cold iron ropes don't really have an effect on people who can just disappear out of the world. And he has been basically just pacing back and forth, dictating to another soldier in a language that I am all but certain you do not speak.
And Ray's like, let me see if I can fix that.
Let me consult the... Nope, I do not speak that.
I am all but certain none of you have the high language of the elves.
I don't have any languages, apparently.
I might.
You're not here.
Todoki might. However, he is dictating to this guy.
I don't have any languages, apparently.
Yeah,
that tracks. She just barks, growls, and then bites.
That's pretty par for course, really. You have a horrendous headache.
I bet.
Because this machine, whatever it is, and it is a machine, as you got closer, you were able to get a peek inside. There's some kind of metal and crystal monstrosity going in there. It is, every maybe 10 or 15 seconds gives this really heavy just chug, and there's a high-pitched keening whine that is released that just bores into your head.
Is it sucking the years away from her life? Sorry.
For posterity, be honest. How did this make you feel?
So, do I notice anything in the air?
No.
No? Okay.
You do not.
Okay.
It is just like always, no matter what you're doing, it's every time that thing sounds, like it just overrides everything. And it's not, if you've ever had just like a migraine spike, it's like that. Like you're not disabled, but that's about what it makes you feel like. There is at least one guard in the tent who is sitting in a chair opposite you, and he has a crossbow
Aimed right at
just braced on a table, aimed right at you. So what you doing?
Is there any type of plant or weed or anything I can see within this room?
No.
No.
The tent has we'll say a stone floor.
Okay. Can I feel any vegetation under the stone? No.
Like your senses are completely and entirely dulled.
That's what I figured. Okay. So, I'm going to try to speak to the guy holding the crossbow. And just kind of, so I thought I was coming peacefully.
He nods.
So why are you aiming that at me?
He looks over at the mage captain, who looks at you and says, because you are a forest witch, and if you twitch the wrong way in an attempt to cast a hex upon my men, he will just shoot you.
Ah.
And while the prestige for turning you in dead is significantly less, it will be enough to get us reassigned from here.
Huh. Okay. So, you've met other forest witches?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, they didn't hex you.
We didn't give them the chance.
Ah, okay. What if I just want to talk?
About what?
Well, I mean, you now have me. And seeing as how I was one of your main goals,
No.
maybe stop burning down the forest?
No, you're a pleasant bonus.
But not the main goal?
No. Oh, I'm sure House Kayakawa would love to get their hands on you. But you're not my primary goal.
Why am I not your primary goal? I'm others.
He looks at his men, kind of laughs a little. Yes, she's too unrefined to understand how a military works. I get that with you forest heathens. You see, my orders have been given to me, so I follow them. Unlike the formless chaos that constitutes your... Well, I wouldn't really call it a society.
Are you sure you're following the orders?
Yes. To the letter.
Oh, to the letter. Ah, so this camp and burning down the forest and everything is all part of the orders?
You.
And I'm just like a bonus?
He looks at his men and goes, Am I not clear? You are not my objective. Does that clarify it for you?
Just making sure that you really believe that I am not the objective.
Yes, I am certain you are not the objective.
Wow.
Also, you're being just a little distracting, if you don't mind.
How am I distracting? You have me tied up. I can't do anything. When I asked for a peaceful negotiation.
As I was saying, and he starts dictating to that other soldier.
Distraction.
Meanwhile, outside the camp.
There's these assholes.
I was going to say, these three.
You guys appear some distance away from this camp and are able to, at a certain point, just walk right by a couple of soldiers on patrol. Even Whisper, who tends to take up a lot of space at times. They just walk maybe 2 feet away from you and don't even notice you.
Kill?
From our little bubble of invisibility, I'll call out an elvish, "Hey, come here."
One of the we'll say there's like five infantry guys on patrol. One of them goes, "Hey, did you hear that?"
"Yes, come here."
Pitch your voice higher and be seductive.
"Come here."
I wasn't serious, pretty boy. I just want to see if you do it.
Just from out behind a tree, Geo sticks her leg out, raises her skirt just a little.
Yeah, human legs look a lot like elf eggs. So elf legs. Oh God, my tongue.
I don't know. I think hers are
Elf
probably
eggs.
like more muscular.
And probably way too dark for one of these elves.
Yeah, I mean, while they're distracted, Whisper's just gonna start snapping necks.
Yeah, so by the time they decide amongst themselves what to do, Whisper just pops up behind them and starts cracking heads together. And, before he delivers the final blow, there's one elf on the ground who's like waving a spear in front of him, has no idea what's killing people.
Yeah, Whisper just Whisper is invisible when it happens, but it just like stomps on his head with just total force.
Yeah. There are now 5 dead guys.
And I'm gonna start dragging him into the underbrush outside of camp.
Excellent. Sorry, I wanted to test the thing, and I'm sitting here like holding the little thing and shaking it like an 8-ball. Like, cool.
It's
So-
not an 8-ball.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is when you hold it up, it was kind of this like inky black, and when you moved the crystal, there were these like silver wisps in there. There's now more silver to it.
Okay, so if I move it back the way she told me to hold it, just so, like that, does it go back more black?
No.
Okay, so we need to not kill things because the silver's going out. As I'm watching it, is more silver appearing?
Yes.
We need to hurry the fuck up.
It's on a timer?
It seems like it. Let's not find out in the middle of camp. Let's go! And Todoki will
Are we even bothering to be stealthy underneath this thing?
well, yes. I mean, Todoki wanted to test it to see if it broke as soon as we touched something. Like, there was really a scientific purpose on slaughtering those elves. Added bonus, we got to slaughter those elves.
I mean, it tracks that we would just walk into camp under this veil and
Yeah.
just stroll on to wherever we're going.
Yeah, no, we're not slowly going, but we're also not. I mean, so Todoki being a commander, he knows how to, having had to attack the forest, he knows about tying that padding armor and whatnot. So I'm not going clink, clink, clink as I'm going through town. So yeah, stealthifying a little bit, but we're focusing more on speed than absolute stealth, relying on the invisibility from the friendly bull.
Yeah, so we'll say I think about 10 or 15 seconds, Whisper just gets this piercing pain in his head. And if Todoki is watching that crystal, every time that happens to him, the crystal goes a little bit more silver. If they keep to the standard layout of one of these camps, we'll say there's an armory to the south. There's a commander's tent, probably right next to whatever that towering structure at the center is. Something does catch Todoki's eye, though. He's only seen it a couple of times. One of the tents that's fairly close. Every now and then, a couple of soldiers will go into it, and then will be preceded by this sort of brilliant blue flash of energy, or that flash will go off and a couple more soldiers will come out.
Teleportation tent.
He has, on very few occasions, the sovereignty military has pulled out artifacts that allow them to teleport troops straight in.
Okay. Now, on standard layout of this camp, are there any buildings that would be less populated or not populated during quote-unquote standard business hours?
Probably the mess tent.
Okay. So as we're walking, I'll tell him, well, we can go for Suna, try to figure that out. There is a teleportation artifact potentially in that tent, or with this pulsing happening and it's destroying the crystal, we could go and turn the crystal off and try and actually sneak through the camp that way and keep it in case of emergency. Thoughts?
Yeah.
I think securing the teleportation thing and then securing Suna makes for a faster exit.
We definitely need to pick up Cheddar Biscuit and take out whatever is that making them pop in and out.
Yes.
Those are priorities.
Yes. Yes.
Although, to be fair, if we get Cheddar Biscuit, she might be helpful on, the chaos and the killing people when we go take out the teleport thing.
Now, also, would Todoki know anything about cold iron or its weaknesses?
I mean, just from a strictly metallurgical aspect, sure. It tends one to be weak to flame. If you apply consistent long-term heat to it, it is no longer cold iron. It tends to be pretty brittle. Relatively brittle, I should say.
Yeah.
Like enough force you can just snap it.
Yeah.
So,
like a warhammer hitting it is definitely going to snap it because it needs to be forged and tempered before it can withstand blows like that.
I mean,
theoretically,
like if you were making a traditional iron thing, yes.
Yeah.
But wrought iron, like, yeah, if you apply enough brute force to it, you can chip it away.
Okay. That's what he's thinking on as we're making our way downtown.
I didn't have to do it that time.
I figured I'd help out with the puns every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Well, you let us know when you get one in, and we'll can some laughter. So which way are you guys heading?
So where would they keep Cheddar Biscuit?
Probably in the commander's tent, or center of the camp is most likely. They'd want easy access. Is that accurate information? So
Yeah.
And what kind of security are we looking at on the teleportation tent?
What would I know of standard procedures? I know that it's very
Like
rare.
specifically, it probably won't be guarded.
Okay. Because nobody would be dumb enough to sneak into the middle of an elvish camp and
Correct.
fuck with it.
Yeah, that's why most, like, the assumption by most sovereignty troops is that, you know, these are not sentient, sapient people. They are dumb animals, and so they can't read, they can't write. So that's why, like, a lot of elven orders are just out in the open because everybody assumes they can't. That was like your unit's standard operation.
Yeah.
Procedure was like, you don't need to guard a thing in a camp because clearly they're not smart enough to come into the camp and do anything with it.
How close are these two objectives in this camp?
Not super close, but
Yeah, they're maybe like 50, 60 feet away.
Do we want to recover the artifact, or do we just want to destroy it?
well, let's recover it first, and we have the option to destroy as we go, because we might be able to use it
To get out?
to get out. The problem with us taking it with us is if anyone's popping through on the other end, guess where they pop through at?
A bag of holding?
Well, wherever this item is. So,
If only we had a bag of holding.
actually,
I'm sure that would be an unpleasant time.
I'm sure there's a well somewhere here. We may not even need to destroy it. Just toss it down a well. Let them teleport in.
Drown them in the well?
Yes. No. Honestly, we probably need to destroy it.
Because I have 4 heat seeker crystals.
All right, so let's go destroy the artifact first, create a commotion, slip over to the command tent and see if we can use that commotion to infiltrate and
Snatch and run.
snatch and run.
And kill on our way out.
Yes. So we'll make our way to the artifact tent.
So Suna, the mage captain has finished his dictation and has sent his we'll call him a squire for the moment. Sent his squire off with a sheaf of letters.
So I know I don't understand the language. But is there a particular word or phrase that he was repeating often that I could sit here and say over and over in my head to ask him about when I get out of here?
Good.
No.
No.
What I will say is, like, if you were close enough to see what he was writing, you recognize some of the words off of your wanted poster that the sovereignty sent to the Caldera. So words like witch and fox, you know those words.
Oh, okay. So I guess there will be no talks, negotiation, nothing?
Oh, we'll be sending you to negotiate with the Emperor's in person very soon.
Oh, so you're going to have me travel?
Yes.
Ooh, isn't that risky?
No.
No?
Absolutely not.
Traveling through the forest, I mean, I know it pretty well.
Yes.
Yes. So that's not risky?
No.
Interesting.
I see the confusion on your little face.
Yeah.
And then he just...
You don't want to clear it up for me?
No, I think it will become quite apparent here in just a moment.
Ah, okay. So, what is it you were doing? Besides burning down my forest?
Preparing you for travel.
Okay, what are you doing in the forest?
Burning it down.
Kind of looks around. I feel perhaps these creatures' capability for communication was vastly overestimated. I thought I was particularly clear in what we were doing here.
Yes, I'm not your objective. You were burning down the forest. What else? I mean, why are you burning down the forest? I mean, at least tell me there's a good reason.
Your people are in it.
Oh, so you just want to massacre a species?
No.
No. You just want to burn down a forest and kill everything inside of it?
Yes.
For a reason?
Yes.
To take over the land?
No.
Because this land is pretty good.
I feel like we're just going in circles here. Is the crystal ready?
What crystal?
At which point, that one of the soldiers pokes his head in and says, "I'll go check."
So, what about some food? Could I get some food? The whole
I don't think that
prisoner take care of me.
I don't think that will be relevant in a very little while.
How will that not be relevant?
And while
You're not going to kill me.
While Suna is, arguing back and forth, those of you who are in the tent, there is sitting on a pedestal a large. It's probably about the size of Whisper's head.
Ooh, that's big.
Yeah, it is a.
He's got a big old mushroom head.
It is
like Toad from Mario Kart.
It is a Nintendo, not a sponsor,
You
but
could say that things are getting kind of stormy.
Well, now's my chance to change this. That you're not teleported; you travel on a rainbow road. No, there's on this pedestal is this giant craggy chunk of blue rock. A soldier comes in, and he has a literal armload of message tubes, and he runs up and starts trying to shuffle them around so that he can put both of his hands on it. And
Todoki is gonna yuck.
Yeah.
This poor guy.
So can't even defend himself. Just shanked right in the ribs.
Yeah. Sorry.
Like Shank dead?
Yes, Shank dead.
But I'm going to catch him before he crashes down.
Yep.
Get those message tubes.
And very gently put him down.
I'll grab the tubes. All right, guys. Get to breaking the rock. We need the distraction.
So
Read the messages.
He's going to be missed soon.
yeah,
Read the messages.
you get him out of the way. Clear the message tubes. After about a minute or so, another soldier pokes his head in the tent, looks around, and then leaves. Suna, that soldier, comes back, pokes his head into your tent and says, your squire is successfully left, so the crystal is ready.
What, did we just sit on him or something?
At which point, the guy with the crossbow keeps the crossbow on you, and the mage captain grabs you by the rope, goes to yank you to your feet, realizes you're still tied to the chair, and just takes a knife and cuts your bindings from the chair.
And I'm the dumb one.
Oh, we'll let the Emperor decide the state of your intelligence himself.
You just tried to make me walk with the chair.
He twists the rope up a little bit to keep you on your tiptoes and starts walking you into another tent.
You're lucky he's not dragging you at this point.
Yeah. Like a cat on a leash.
Yeah, at this point, he's got a hold of you. You walk into a tent. Are you three trying to break the rock?
I
Yeah.
would start planting those heat seeker crystals on it.
Okay.
The craggy bits.
But yes, we were enacting Plan Fuck Up the Rock. The highly thought out and refined plan.
So while Giovanna is planting those little heat seeker crystals, before you two can start swinging on it, the flap opens. Suna is marched in, held, by a guy. There's another guy with a crossbow, and the soldier who held the tent flap open lets it close and walks away.
Oh, perfect.
Have fun.
Whisper comes up behind the one with the crossbow and
I'm not
twist and pop.
The interrogator. I'm not attacking him because she's doing that. I'm gonna cut the rope that he's holding her by tiptoe. Like I want Suna to be free before I try to attack him.
So Suna, you hear behind you, snap, and you feel something pass right behind you. The big rope binding your arms is cut free. Your hands are still bound. The mage captain, swears, pushes you away from him, and pulls out a wand to level it at you.
Giovanna, if you will, please.
Okay, I'm gonna take my sword and smack it against one of these heat seeker crystals and dive for Cheddar Biscuit.
Right?
As we see her doing that, or as I see her doing that, I'm gonna dive for cover as well.
And Whisper's just going to go slopping to the ground.
So Giovanna hits these crystals. There's just this arcane whine as one after another they start building up. You guys hit the deck, and there is a flash of blue light. When you look up, everything, so she planted those crystals about the halfway point on that rock. Everything from that point up, including the tent and surrounding area, is gone.
What about the mage captain?
There is the lower half of a mage captain standing there that quickly falls over.
And Suna's probably all blurry now because I'm halfway on top of her.
How large of an area as we poke our head back up?
It seems to have affected only this tent.
Okay.
But the minute it happens, a bunch of soldiers start yelling and running that way.
Do they see us?
They do not appear to see you.
Run!
Staff and bag. Staff and bag.
Where are they? I'm putting you over my shoulder and running with you. Okay, where are they, Cheddar Biscuit?
They are in the commander's tent.
Yeah.
The command tent over there.
Boys,
over there.
Do your thing. Bring go get her shit.
Okay.
If y'all step away from him,
I was gonna say I'm gonna go with them because I'm the 8-bowl guy.
Whisper is going to after.
which it looks to be about halfway gone, by the way.
We need to hurry. We're halfway there.
Did the wand get dropped by any chance?
The wand is no longer there.
Okay.
It was probably
It was
upper
top
half.
half.
Whisper is going to be the distraction.
Okay.
and is going to slip away. He's going to recorporealize, like come out of the ground and just start
Sport.
like going completely mushroom shit on these guys. And just like lashing into them with everything that they've got and just full on, no self-preservation, kill as many as possible.
All right.
Lead them away from the exit.
So Whisper disappears into the ground from somewhere over on the opposite side of the camp. You see one of the wooden guard towers just start collapsing.
Oh, shit.
And-
It's a mecha.
And you start hearing men screaming, including one guy who gets tossed up about 30 feet in the air.
Oh, it's cavalry.
Could be.
A couple of them start making breaks for the large armors parked at the back of the camp.
You know, we can go get your staff. That's very important. Or we can run and get those big armors first and use the armors to get your staff. Your choice.
You really want the armor, don't you?
No, I just don't want to fight the armor. It's easier to kill the guys before they get in the armor than otherwise.
Are we close to the?
Look, I think there's plenty of chaos going
No.
on. If you want to
Okay.
go run and go take care of that, I can
Nope,
handle
let's
her.
get the tent.
I was gonna say we need to find one of these guys that is, a little higher in rank, alive, and take him with us, so we could question.
He's got all the tube
I
messages.
got all their messages. I know what they're planning on doing right now.
We can read them later.
More than likely, all those messages are just saying we caught the witch.
That's an awful lot of copy and paste there.
So you guys get into the tent, the commander's tent.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to run up to it and use my, where'd it go? The ice whip thing? Just split up the back and just run right in.
Yep. So you run in. So there's all his personal belongings. There's Suna's stuff over there, basically at the end of his bed. He has.
What was he planning on fucking
Really,
doing?
I was gonna say.
It's his tent. He sleeps there.
Well, pretty much. Todoki knows that he was going to claim her stuff as spoils of war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to toss.
And on that note, I'm going to take his stuff
as spoils.
as spoils of war.
I'm not going to toss
That's-
Suna onto the bed so she can grab her shit.
That's fair.
Eat the fox.
On one side of the tent is that. On the other side of the tent are effectively baskets that are stacked full of missives. There is a gigantic map of the Enchanted Forest. And you've marked on your map the location of this base.
Yeah.
There are 4 others.
Well,
Shit.
fuck.
There's one to the north, one to the south in the foothills, one to the west right on the coast, and then one that would basically be the closest point to Sixway, which is the sovereignty capital city. And they are forming a just a cross, basically. And this one is running. The others have some notes scrolled, like pinned to the map, that they are not quite running yet.
Okay.
Like men and supplies have been moved there, but they're not quite functional. This was the first one.
I'm going to yoink it, roll it up, shove it down my shirt. And while they're gathering up her stuff, is there just any missives or anything on the desk or anything that I can quickly glance through
you
to
can-
see if there's anything really important?
He's got some personal notebooks
Okay.
and journals, things like that.
Blackmail. Is that thrumming thing in this tent?
No.
No.
That is, like, if you peek out the front, there is maybe a 20, 25-foot gap, and then there's that machine.
Hey, Cheddar Biscuit.
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know, but it hurts every time it whistles.
So, you want it destroyed?
Yes.
Sweet.
Actually, let's figure out how to destroy it, because I don't know that we know how to destroy it.
I mean, I was going to apply fire. Fire usually works.
Yeah, fire's a good idea.
Give me just a couple more minutes. I'm checking which ones are important. I'm stuffing the missives. And by minutes, I mean few seconds.
Yeah, I'm making sure that when the way is clear enough, so I can dart out there real quick. Do you want me to do that while you're grabbing stuff, or do you want me to wait till you're done?
We're good to go.
Okay.
Quickly shove whatever I can in my bag.
Yeah, Todoki's messenger bag is now just stuffed.
I look like fucking Santa Claus. Like,
Yeah, don't drop that, free boy.
You three run out and into this stone and wrought iron building. Inside is a crystal and wrought iron machine. It has hundreds of gears in it. And it just seems to be pulling something up out of the ground, which is deposited into containers. It's whatever that fuel was that was being used to burn.
oh, flammable liquid.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Is there anybody in this
No.
room? Okay, good. Maybe you guys want to,
Everybody seems to be concentrated over there on that side where something is wrecking,
Stamping its way through. Yes.
wrecking house.
I'm going to take some samples or a couple handfuls full of whatever that is, that fuel that they're making, shove it in my bag, and then I'm going to shove my bag at, Suna, because she probably has the less stuff. Shove these two closer to the door, climb on top of this thing, and shove my sword into it, and do White Flame Blade on it.
Okay. So it doesn't appear to be flammable, but when you jam your sword into it, you pierce through the first layer of wrought iron and you hit the biggest gear. When you do that, just teeth snap off of it, which starts this cascade of teeth snapping off all the different gears.
I just want, waves of fire find something eventually to...
Yeah, it starts building up pressure, very much like you saw with those individual tanks, and starts spraying that fluid out in this fine mist that burns your skin wherever it touches you. Whisper, as you've taken down 30 or 40 of these troops. He's just got arrows sticking out of him. At one point, like, he goes to raise his hand and there's just a spear stuck through it. He turns and two of those large armors stand up and start stomping towards you with hands out. The ground is turning to glass where they step. And right as one gets to within range of you that you can feel that heat, all of that, like, deadened sense that you had just disappears, and you are able to feel the forest shadow again. Poof. Yeah. Whisper disappears. Suna, you are likewise able to feel it.
Is she near me, or is she still on her?
I'm still on top of the thing.
You're still on top of your thing? Hey, Gio, come here. Touch my hand.
I'm going to use my sunlit halo to float down to her.
And I'm just going to grab them too and poof.
So right as Giovanna sprouts these wings made of sunlight, the air behind her catches on fire.
Most badass exit ever.
There is the start of an explosion, and Suna and Todoki and Giovanna disappear into the forest shadow.
How big is this explosion going to be?
That's a good question.
Yes, I might have just ruined the forest a little bit.
If it takes down those mechs,
Yes.
The greater good.
greater about the death toll.
Where sometime later, it's hard to tell, even Whisper, who's probably the first one to wake up. You are in the forest shadow.
Well,
A few seconds after you appear there, Suna, Giovanna, and Todoki just come flying out of nowhere, smash into the ground, and go unconscious.
Whisper immediately goes over and makes sure that they're all right and starts like putting them into what he thinks are comfortable positions, which, Whisper has seen them all sleep, so
he's mostly right.
he probably thinks, okay, Giovanna is the big one, so Giovanna and Todoki are going to be like the bottom pillows, and Suna's going to be like curled up in a little like sleeping fox position on top of them.
There's got to be that moment where he grabs Suna and like places her on top, and she doesn't automatically curl up like she normally does. So he takes the time to actually arrange her, and there's like spend some time adjusting her tail, and there's like, well, the tail's wrong. Hold on, and adjusts the face, and then has to adjust the tail some more.
And then like lifts up Giovanna's arm, puts it over Suna.
Giovanna's just kind of sprawled there.
When they come through, they're all smoking. And
It sizzling just a tiny bit.
yeah,
I don't think that my life blooms can heal them, right?
no. In fact, they're probably actively poisonous.
So I'm probably not actually going to try to use any mushroom stuff on them, but might look through their stuff, see if there's any like healing stuff.
What do you guys have in your pockets?
A lot of elven missives.
Some fuel.
Yeah, that's
I don't have any healing potions.
Me
nothing,
either.
so-
Yeah, nothing
Yeah.
you recognize as magical.
I mean,
Well,
unless you know
nothing-
how to set off my armor.
No, fortunately, he does know some people who can heal us, though.
Yeah. So I guess at this point, Whisper is going to let them rest for just a little bit, keeping out watch, making sure that nothing.
That giant panther-looking thing just inside to meet us.
Yeah. And then eventually at one point is just going to kind of slough into the ground and then rise up, like carrying all three of them in the same position, just like with these massive tree trunk arms, and is going to take them to Suna's parents' house, which is the last safe place that he knows about.
So as Whisper starts walking the group in his arms, just walking them away.
I love playing a monstrosity that can just do shit like that.
Oh yeah. We'll say Suna wakes up first. You're being carried.
What is going on? What are you doing?
Whisper sends a image to Suna of giant explosion, and
Question mark?
and all of us back at Naoto and Yoshiyuki's home with Whisper doing the dishes instead of Suna.
Why are you taking me home? No.
Todoki and Giovanna, you wake up to Suna going, no, no, no.
Why no, Suna? Chitterbis?
Why are we going home? Why are we going to my home?
Why are we alive?
That's not really
I have
a question.
I have a full body sunburn. I would like that to stop.
So Whisper decides that everyone is now going, and I guess Suna has to do this on her own, but is going to take us take everyone out of the forest shadow. Minimum safe distance from the camp.
So
Just for a second.
when Whisper concentrates to try and go out of the forest shadow, he cannot. That connection to the natural plane is not there.
Whisper sends an image of a massive, lifeless crater, which is not in very good detail because Whisper doesn't know, but Whisper suspects that there is no life left there. Not even, plants in the dirt, not even like bugs in the dirt. It's just gone.
Okay, so maybe we should keep moving and see how far
So
we get.
while y'all are having this conversation, go ahead and make me perception type checks.
21.
Nice.
Adding the survivalist.
Wisdom.
Do we add our level to it?
Yes.
Or is it
Okay, so 25.
Nice. 27.
16?
8. I am distracted by the full body sunburn.
So, Suna and Whisper, you two can feel like normally you'd be able to sense life on the other side. It's not so much as there's nothing there, it's just that there is no connection whatsoever. So you can't tell if there's anything on the other side, no matter which way you travel. And also, when you travel normally, you think about where you want to go, and you are able to instinctively navigate. You cannot. Todoki, what did you get?
16.
16. To you, it seems, I think I've described it before as being slightly dim in here to you. Kind of like there's a hazy blue filter over everything. It seems much darker in here now. Giovanna, what did you get?
I got an 8.
You got an 8.
I see nothing.
So, actually, quite the opposite.
The fuck?
Aha! Challenging your expectations.
Yeah.
While the three of you are concentrating on the perhaps arcane implications of this explosion and ruminating upon your surroundings, Giovanna has actually stopped to look at the surroundings. And we're going to say sitting over there kind of in pounce ready mode is one of those displacer beasts. You are able to clearly see it due to its shining golden eyes, and it has its tentacles up and ready to pounce on you. And I think that's where we'll call this episode.
Fluffy!
I don't know what we'll call it,
Kitty!
Kitty!
but we'll call it there.
Elf eggs?
No.
Okay.
So you guys got anything?
A new pet.
Yeah, maybe?
Yes, let's go with that. Definitely 100% a brand new pet.
You know,
It's like that video. Come here, kitty! And it's a little baby bear.
Oh no.
Come here, kitty!
And that's when he knew he fucked up. Speaking of fucked up, you can sponsor F-bombs.
Yes.
And you should. You got somebody in your life who you would like some professional fucksmen to
we'll fuck them for you.
that we will. We'll put info in the show notes how to do that.
That's what Galdrian was before he was an adventurer, professional fucksman.
Yeah. I think actually in the note I refer to you as professional cursemongers.
Well, the title of this this could be called Boomtown because, the town went boom, and we're professional fucksmen. We go to Boomtown. There you go.
So speaking
Bucksman, go to Boomtown. There's your episode there.
So speaking of things ending with a bang, that's all I got. So if you guys don't have anything, we'll see you guys on the next episode.